Alright, I just got through breaking 2 bolts. And it's on the old fender, so I'm not really worried about saving them. I hate cutting it just for the sake of it, but this fender's really not salvageable, I guess. And even if it is, at some point, if somebody decided they wanted to, they could come in and put a patch panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. Here's the first one that I broke. They're just rusted real bad. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll cut this fender right through here, so I can release it off of these bottom bolts down here. I like to save those bolts if I can. And then once I do that, then I'll just cut this little section. Well, no, never mind. It's already rusted. Awesome. Okay, that's already rusted. So just, I'll take my die grinder or my cutoff wheel and just cut right through here. There it is. It's passenger side. I think I'm going to go ahead and do is clean this up a little bit. In good shape. It's not rusted too bad. This old seam sealers obviously got its issues. Radio antenna? That's weird. Coming out going under the fender, but this has a, I guess that was a CB antenna maybe, because this has the windshield, built-in windshield antenna. I don't know where this is going. That might be an old CB antenna. They probably ran it out and stuck it on top of the fender and used the magnetic one, but not too bad. Put this old seam sealer out of the way. Not rotten. There's no rust, which is good news. Better news than what I found when I pulled stuff off of the old 69 there, but I'll get this cleaned up and hit it with the pressure sprayer. Oh, get my last 2 ouch. Get my last 2 fender bolts out of here. And then get ready to put the other one back on, the primer. Yeah, almost halfway there. Alright, I was able to get the 2 bolts out from under the fender over here. The lower part right there. There was 2 of them with the little clip nuts or blind nuts or whatever you want to call them. I was able to save one of them. The other one broke, obviously. Been on there for 45 years, 44 years, however long. This car, for what was supposed to be a North Dakota car, is in really good shape. The shoulder cowls, which are typically rusted out on the bottom down here and then also on the front, this shoulder cowl is in really good shape. The seam seal up here, when I blew it off with a pressure sprayer, there's no rust under it whatsoever. There's a little bit of rust right back here at the windshield where the dash cowl meets the hinge post or the hinge pillar. There's a little bit of rust right here, but that's probably, looks like that might be because that's where the seam sealer let go first. But all of this right here, this is all primer, original from the factory. And I blasted it off when I hit it with the pressure sprayer. So I'm excited about this half. This looks good over here. That's the original color right there, that green, forest green or Kelly green or whatever it's called. Original color. It's in good shape. So I'm excited about the fact that I'm not finding a lot of rust on this car, not like on my 69 anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fender on and take step one. Of course, I am going to have to open it. Bring it back when I got it on. Can you see it? So that ain't normal. From the tip to the corner of the body line. Right there. Boink. Not touching the dial. And there's the body line down there. So whenever you buy shit off of Craigslist, don't take their word for it. This is not a 71 El Camino fender. This is the 71 Chevelle fender. And I didn't realize it because it's a subtle difference. And you Chevy fanatics out there that probably already know this can pick it up right away, but I didn't. What they did with the what they did with the El Camino fenders for 70, 71, and 72 is they softened this body line right here, and they brought it out farther. And what that did is by eliminating that body line and flowing it out farther, they were able to match up with the doors from the previous body styles for the 68, 69, and 70, for the 68 and 69 El Camino back half. So the doors on the El Caminos are smoother. They don't have this rigid body line right here. None of them do. El Caminos are more, it's basically just a curvature. And what they did for the fenders is they floated these out, number one. And number two, on the Chevelles, this door panel actually rolls out farther because it's a wider door. And with the El Caminos, the doors tend to go down a little bit straighter. You can see right here with the Chevelle, it's got a little more of an edge to it, a little more of a scallop. So I got fucked, boys. There's the obvious difference right there. You can see right there where they flow that out to soften that body line. Basically, they take it from right there and they radius it all the way down. So this body line goes away on the El Caminos and it matches the doors. And then for the Chevelles, it stays there. So anyhow, yeah. Buyer beware when you buy shit off of Craigslist. So if anybody knows anyone that's looking for a couple of Chevelle 71, 72 Chevelle fenders, I think even 70, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 70 through 72. I've got some. They've been blasted and sanded and epoxy primered. I can't use them. So I'm screwed, boys. Back to square one with the 71 El Camino. I'll put the shitty fender back on it and think about maybe getting a fender patch or lower patch panel for this side and putting the old fender back on, which means I'm going to have to do just as much work on that fender as I did on these sons of bitches getting them ready. But I've got that one, and I've got this one here. So, never noticed. Son of a bitch. Wasted time. And that ain't something I got a lot of. Alright. Till next time.